Minobe covered her face and wept. I tried to think of something comforting to say, but suddenly her eyes went and she cackled. Hello, welcome back to Iwaihime. Let us go ahead and continue. See what happens with Kanai.
先輩、遅くなってすみませんすみません。ああ、いいよいいよ。全然待ってないし。相談って何ですか？見延先輩が会って話したい相談なんてなんだろうなーってそわそわしてました。
I wasn't the type who wore her worries on her sleeves, so her surprise was only to be expected. Thanks my perfect act, no one even suspected I was having troubles at home. But after all that happened, I had no choice but to rely on Kiki. Honestly, I hadn't been sure how much to tell her. I didn't want to make things awkward with such a serious topic. So all I said was I'd gone into a big fight with my mom and couldn't go home for a while.
見延先輩ってお母さんと喧嘩とかするんですか？結構アンビリーバボバボ。するよ。おいらの家ちょっといろいろ複雑なの。まあここだけの話だけど、その。
Kiki was shocked, but soon realized this wasn't something she should stick her nose too deep into.
ほんのしばらくだけ止めてくれないかな。キコチーのアパートに空き部屋とかあったらすっごい助かるんだけど。空き部屋は今はないと思います。このままじゃおいら満喫ぐらいしか公園で野宿になっちゃうよ。
I managed to get Kiki to agree to let me stay over for at least one night. We had to talk about what came after that later. I wasn't naive enough to assume she'd let me stay forever, but if she'd help me out even a little, I could save more money. It cost about 2,000 yen to stay a night at a manga cafe with food expenses included. That meant I needed a few thousand a day. Of course, there were other living expenses to consider, like clothes, laundry. The more I thought, the more I realized I just didn't have enough money. I had enough to support myself for just a little while, so if I managed to get a part-time job in between. After club activities ended and we were leaving school, Keshi turned the conversation to Suzumu. I was okay with Kiki knowing, but I didn't want Suzumu finding out about my troubles at home, so I shifted focus to him as naturally as I could.
そういえば、スズムンって空手をやってんだって？
空手？
やってますやってます。毎日夕方には道着を着て裏庭で稽古してますよ。
Not exactly karate, but...
何それかっこいい。
空手じゃないんだけどな。
女の子から見れば似たようなもんだってば。あ、ねえねえ、あのさ。
I walked ahead of Suzumu and then turned around and spoke.
おいらもスズムンのかっこいいとこ見てみたいな。
We watched Suzumu train in Kiki's backyard. It was so cool. I realized once more how I felt about him. However, I sadly realized that dream was no longer possible. Afterwards, I had dinner with Suzumu and Kiki's family. We had somen. It was delicious. The whole family was at peace. We all had fun watching a baseball game on TV. Suzumu and Kiki looked like they were having fun too. But above all else, I was fraught with envy. I wanted to be part of this family. Mom and Dad hated each other. They always fought when they saw one another. Eventually, they stopped meeting face to face, and even each stopped coming home when the other was there. Everyone in my family just lived their own lives separate from each other. Despite that, it was the only place I felt like I belonged. But once Dad left and Mom started bringing Mr. Tanaka over, it slowly but surely lost that feeling. This place was wonderful. I could only imagine how fun it would be to live with Suzumoon here. I'm sure all girls my age had dreams like that, but I was filthy now. Could Suzumoon ever accept someone like that? No, that wasn't the issue. It wasn't a matter of wanting acceptance. The problem was that because I loved Suzumoon from the bottom of my heart, I wanted to offer my purest self up to him. But it was too late. Oh, yep, that happened. I was a caterpillar now, not a human. He simply wasn't suitable for one as pure and radiant as him. So we're gonna get some truth to the other part of the haunting, I guess. Wanting him to accept someone like me would be asking way too much. But I wanted to go to the Prince of Moonsuit because I no longer had anywhere else to go. If I were to meet him, would he be able to save me? Could I abandon this monstrous body and start anew? Like a caterpillar becoming a butterfly, could I be reborn as my pure self and love him? Indeed, I was a caterpillar. I was the same as that hideous, loathsome creature.
Senpai?
I was a master at masking my tears. Oh, right, her room.
個性的な部屋だね。
Yes, it does.
実は私には生き別れの兄がいまして、ブラザーブラザー。
Sure.
ある日デスメタルで天下を取ると言ってギター片手に旅に出て、そのまま音信不通に。ああ、はいはい。
That's the story
お
you're sticking
姉
with.
さんの部屋を使ってんだね。これって特攻服ってやつ？名前が刺繍で入ってるね。血まみれ天女、初代特攻隊長、春宮椿。うわー、ギャーギャー。これはそのボベボベボベボベボベボー。
I heard rumors that Kiki used to be one heck of a troublemaker, but this was something else. Even I was dumbfounded. She wore a striking headband and what appeared to be a commemorative photo group with her gang members. So Kiko was a butterfly now, then the girl in the photo must have been her as a caterpillar, an entirely different person. This very room itself was a vile caterpillar, and she transformed from a caterpillar into a butterfly. So could that happen to me too someday? Of course not. Because I was already a filthy, revolting, vile caterpillar.
そんなことないよ。
Huh? Who said that? I heard someone calling to me in my sleep. It was the first time I heard that voice, and yet I knew who it was. Slowly opened my eyes. Oh, hey. I saw myself.
行こうよ。行こうよって、どこへ？決まってるじゃないさ。そう、ムーンスートの王子様の国へ。
Okay, so Ellis would be the doe, right? It's obvious, very obvious what it's showing you. That Ellis is the doe, Kanai is, well, Kanai.
それは行けるものなら行きたいよ。でも私はもう、落ち込むことはないんだよ。
Because when you think about it, whenever she was in the Wonderland during this part, I don't know if it was like in chapter 2, but in this one, it never said Ellis. It always said Kanai whenever she was in like the Wonderland part. It never referred to Kanai as Ellis.
だってムーンスートの王子様には不思議な力があるんだもの。
And when I'm talking about referring to, I'm talking about like the name in the corner there. It never said Ellis. It always said Kanai until now. What was she talking about?
ムーンスートの王子様は体の中に聖なる裾を持ってるの。 それを取り込めば元の綺麗な体に戻ることができるんだよ。
So this is how that haunting happened.
本当に綺麗な体に戻ることができれば、エリス姫とムーンスートの王子様は結ばれてハッピーエンド。ハッピーエンド。さあ行こうよエリス。私の手を取って一緒にムーンスートの王国へ旅立とう。ムーンスートの王子様はもう
Gulp.
すぐそこにいるんだよ。
Oh yeah, because he kind of bled into the hauntings, doesn't he? After a few moments, I reached out and took my antlered doppelganger's hand. Then I saw a scarlet gleam before my eyes. The delicious scent of tea tickled at my nose. Slowly regained consciousness. Oh, joy. There's definitely more webs here than last time. More silk here than chapter 2. Where was I? I was supposed to have been sleeping in my own bed. Yet I'd woken up to find myself in my school uniform, sitting at a table with fragrant tea in front of me. I couldn't move my arms. It was like they were glued to my body or something. I couldn't tear them free. Confused, I looked at my body to discover I was wrapped in a silver silk blanket. No, these were strings. Those silver strings had been tied to the chair. Everything is covered in it. I was in an oddly designed house dyed in silver as though it had been buried in snow. It took me a while to realize this room was like a cocoon.
窮屈にしちゃってごめんね。
ミノベ先輩。
おいらね、スズムンのこと好き、大好きだから結ばれたいと思ってる。変かな。
変じゃないです。自然なことだと思います。でも訳もわからずこうして縛られてたら、その気持ちは伝わりにくいんじゃないかなと思います。
yeah.
そうだね。でも安心して。結ばれる時にはちゃんとそれほどくから。その前にしなくちゃならないことがあるの。
Minobe placed knives and forks on the table with a clatter. It looked like she was setting the table for dinner, but there were too many places. She placed multiple sets of knives, forks, and spoons, and other utensils whose purposes were a mystery to me. Eventually, it looked more like she was setting up for surgery. Once I realized that, I finally noticed those other creepy utensils were in fact used in abdominal surgery.
どんなフルコースだろう。これだけ食器が並ぶと期待しちゃうかな。でも僕が食べる側だといいんだけれどね。
My restraints were sturdier than I expected. All I could do was squirm like a caterpillar.
食べるのはおいら。
Oh, joy.
何を食べるの？
すす。ムーンスートの王子様の肝の中にたっぷりと溜め込んである神の呪いのすす。そのすすの詰まった赤くて黒い王子様の生き肝をつるり。
Minobe slurped loudly as she looked hungrily down on me. My hands were clammy. I could tell by the look in her eyes she was serious.
そうすれば私は元の姿に戻れるの。汚れた醜い体から生まれ変われるの。
どこも醜くなんかないです。
ううん醜い。これを見てもそんなことが言えるかな。
There we go. Minobe rolled her skirt up to reveal her navel. She then thrust her fingers under her skin with a spray. Here we go. And pulled the flesh off her legs like a pair of pants. Here we go again. Her lower half was like a giant caterpillar's, dyed with garish colors and spots.
ね、こんな汚れた化け物の体じゃ王子様と結ばれるわけがない。王子様と結ばれるお姫様は清らかで美しい体でなくちゃ。
もし君の言う醜い姿というのがそれで、それが生まれ持った体だというのなら、僕は醜いなんて思わない。
He's such a good guy.
そんなわけないよ。こんな姿で生まれてきたわけない。
The reality is that it's just a tattoo, technically. It's just a tattoo, which technically isn't always really permanent, because there you can do something to get rid of it. But there'll be scarring and all that, but it's fine. Be fine.
化け物にこんな醜い姿に。
Nova covered her face and wept. I tried to think of something comforting to say with, and suddenly her eyes went and she cackled.
でも大丈夫。聞いたの。王子様の聖なる筒を口にすれば呪いは解けるんだってさ。
僕の肝を食べるってこと。でもそんなことをされたら僕は死んじゃう。
死なれたら困るよ。だからもちろん死なさない。だって王子様とお姫様は結ばれてハッピーエンドにならなきゃいけないんだから。
Well,
でもそんな物騒なものでお腹を開かれたら大変だ。
大丈夫。ちゃんと裁縫セットでお腹を縫うからさ。あれ、そういえばお裁縫セットの用意がないよ。危ない危ない。すぐに閉じて縫わないとお腹の中身が全部出ちゃうもんね。
oh god. Nobody turned her back to me and started fishing through the silk-covered cabinet. This was my chance to make a clean break. I bent over, picked up one of the upside-down knives with my teeth, and inserted it into my armpit. I twisted my body in various ways until I finally felt the blade meet with one of the strings. I managed to make a small incision into the string and twist my body some more, and little by little it grew bigger.
ねえねえ、スズムーン。お腹を縫う糸は何色がいい？
Her back was still turned, and I was getting closer to freedom by the second.
いろんな糸があるよ。バニラ色にチョコレート色、ペパーミント色とかいいよね。
Why is it more like flavors than colors?
でもやっぱスズムンにはブルーハワイ色が似合いそうかな。
Just a little more, just a little more. Ugh. The table and chairs were cleaved in half by a giant saw. She'd pulled it out from the cabinet and was now wielding it. The blade cut through the chair I'd just been sitting in, like it was a butter.
スズムンすっごい。どうやって糸切ったの？
ミノベ先輩じゃないよね。
Yeah, she's Alice, the doe. 誰
だか知らないけれど、それ以上 僕の尊敬する見延先輩の姿を恥ずかしめる
なら
な。怒る。本気で。
She doubled over with laughter as a crack of snapping twigs resounded from her head. Just that magnificent deer antlers sprouted out of it. Her eyes flashed scarlet and demonstrating the majesty of a higher being who looked down on humans. Holy shit!
やはりお前は面白い。そして陸奥の末裔1000年を超えて今頃何をしてみせるというのか。貴様の役目はただ一つ。すすを溜め込んだその生き肝を我に報じることよ。
Got it now. She swung the saw again, shattering the floor I'd been standing on mere seconds prior.
身軽だな。だが逃げ場はないぞ。
本物の見延先輩はどこにいる？
この1000年そのように問われて答えるアホにあった試しがないわ。だがメイドの土産に教えてやってもいい？
月並みだけれど感謝するよ。
Just one hit from that terrifying saw would cleave me in two. For a moment, my legs started to freeze up with fear. But thanks to the strength of heart I cultivated over the years, I managed to keep my head.
あれの母の愚かなことと言ったら。
The girl with deer antlers laughed scornfully as she spoke. A heartbroken mother welcomed a suspicious man who healed her wounds with sweet words and cajolery into her home. Then she surrendered her heart, not realizing that the man intended to sink his fangs into her daughter as well. Nobody saw how happy her mother was, so she dutifully endured the man's infringement on the sanctuary she called home. But that man was a repulsive demon who preyed on the heartbroken souls, manipulating their hearts to nourish himself. This was her mental world. Every aspect of it was a symbol of the pain she held deep within her, and the curse she greedily fed off her emotional scars.
器用に避ける。なぜ恐怖に身をすくめぬのか。やはりお前は特別な男よ。1000年をかけるだけのことはある。お前が望むならば叶えと結ばせてやってもよい。
生き肝を食われてどう結ばれるんだか。
安心せよ。ここはおとぎの世界。肝を食われた程度では死にはせぬ。この世界にてあのカナエと二人して幸せに暮らせばよかろう。
そういうわけにはいかないんだ。明日も学校があるからね。お腹が開いてたらみんな驚いちゃうよ。
無論肝を取り出した後は丁寧に縫い合わせてやろうぞ。
無理だと思う
な。なぜそう思う？
だって君不器用そうだもの。ね。
気に入ったぞ、陸奥の末裔、鈴原すずめ。貴様のすす、生き地ごとすべてすすり尽くしてくれる。
Really? That's how it's gonna end there? It really had to end. It was just getting so good. Why did it have to end there? Well, that's the end of this video for Iwaihime. Things are really heating up even more now. We have a showdown now, and I don't know where it's gonna go. I seriously do not know where it's gonna go. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this. If you did, subscribe, check out other stuff I've done, and see you next time. Bye bye.